For thousands of years, humans faced some of the most terrifying creatures to ever walk the planet. Our ancestors stood against massive mammoths that weighed several tons. They hunted enormous wild cattle with deadly horns. They survived encounters with cave lions, wolves, and other predators that could kill a person in seconds. But there is one powerful animal they rarely hunted, an animal that could overpower a human in a direct fight. An animal that shared the same forests our ancestors sometimes entered, the gorilla. At first, this seems strange. Humans have always been known as hunters. We developed weapons, created strategies, and worked together to defeat animals much larger and stronger than ourselves. So why didn't prehistoric humans simply hunt gorillas like they hunted other dangerous creatures? The answer reveals something important about human evolution. It wasn't because humans were too afraid. It was because they were smart enough to know when a fight wasn't worth taking. A fully grown silverback gorilla is one of the most impressive animals on Earth. Standing several feet tall and weighing hundreds of pounds, its body is built almost entirely for power. Its arms are incredibly strong, designed for climbing, pulling, and moving through dense forests. A human hunter with a simple spear might have had a chance, but the risk was enormous. One mistake could mean broken bones, a severe injury, or death. However, strength alone doesn't explain why humans avoided gorillas. After all, prehistoric humans hunted animals that were far larger. Mammoths were stronger, heavier, and more dangerous. Yet humans still developed ways to defeat them. The difference was not whether an animal was powerful. The difference was whether hunting it made sense. Ancient humans did not hunt to prove bravery. They hunted because survival depended on it. Every hunting decision was a calculation. How much food will this animal provide? How much energy will it take to kill? How likely is someone to get injured? And most importantly, will the reward justify the danger? This way of thinking helped humans survive in a world filled with threats. Now, imagine entering the natural world of the gorilla, the rainforest. Unlike the open grasslands where humans had an advantage, tropical forests were a completely different environment. The trees were enormous, vegetation was thick, and visibility was highly limited. On open plains, humans were excellent hunters. They could see animals from far away, communicate with their group, surround prey, and use their greatest advantage: cooperation. Their ability to throw weapons accurately gave them another powerful tool. A hunter could attack from a distance without putting themselves in direct danger. But inside a rainforest, those advantages disappeared. A spear was harder to use between trees and vines. A group of hunters could not easily surround an animal they could barely see. Tracking became more difficult because every sound, shadow, and movement could hide something dangerous. In this environment, humans were no longer hunting on their terms. They were entering the world of the gorilla. Gorillas knew the forest better than any human could. They understood the safest paths, the best feeding areas, and every sound that moved through the trees. The rainforest itself became their greatest defense. But there was another reason gorillas were unlikely targets. They simply were not an efficient source of food. For ancient humans, hunting was not about killing the strongest animal they could find. It was about gaining the most resources while spending the least amount of energy. Animals like mammoths provided an enormous reward. A successful hunt could feed an entire community for weeks. Their hides could become clothing and shelter. Their bones could become tools. Almost every part of the animal had a purpose. Many large grazing animals also moved in herds or followed predictable patterns, making them easier to locate and plan for. Gorillas were different. They lived in small family groups, deep inside difficult terrain. Finding them required entering a dangerous environment where humans lost many of their natural advantages. And even if a hunter succeeded, the reward was much smaller compared to the risks involved. And in prehistoric life, injury was one of the greatest dangers of all. Today, a broken arm is painful but usually temporary. Thousands of years ago, it could completely change a person's fate. A damaged hand meant difficulty making tools. A serious wound could become infected.
A broken leg could prevent someone from hunting, gathering, or helping their family. For early humans, their bodies were their survival equipment. Protecting themselves was just as important as finding food. Interestingly, gorillas followed a similar survival strategy. Despite their intimidating appearance, gorillas are not naturally aggressive animals looking for fights. A silverback's main responsibility is protecting his family group. Fighting is dangerous, even for a powerful animal. A serious injury could make it impossible for a silverback to defend his troop. Instead of immediately attacking threats, gorillas often rely on displays of strength. A silverback may stand tall, beat his chest, and create powerful sounds that travel through the forest. This display sends a clear message: I am here. This is my family. Stay away. Most of the time, that warning is enough. The interesting thing is that humans and gorillas were using similar strategies. Both species understood that avoiding unnecessary conflict increased their chances of survival. Humans did not become successful because they defeated every dangerous creature they encountered. They became successful because they learned which battles mattered. Our ancestors survived by observing, adapting, and making decisions based on experience. Knowledge passed from generation to generation allowed humans to recognize danger and avoid unnecessary risks. The absence of evidence showing widespread gorilla hunting doesn't mean humans never encountered them. Tropical forests preserve very little archaeological evidence because heat and humidity quickly destroy remains. But the behavior of humans and gorillas today suggests something important. Avoiding conflict was likely the smartest strategy. The story of humans and gorillas isn't really a story about enemies. It's a story about two intelligent species that evolved in completely different ways. Gorillas became masters of the forest. Humans became masters of cooperation and problem solving. One had incredible physical strength. The other had the ability to think ahead. And that may be the greatest lesson hidden in this ancient encounter. Humans did not become the dominant species on Earth because we were the strongest animals. We became successful because we understood something far more powerful than strength. Sometimes the smartest decision isn't winning a fight. Sometimes it's knowing when not to start one.